last time on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Jason in Red Deer writes in, says, nice jersey, Rod. Whose name you got on the back?
Kraken. There you go. Nice. Get you a little yoga in this morning.
Number 32.
How about that?
Oh, that felt good. That reminds me, by the way, when I was at the racetrack the other night, I was, when I do go to the races with our guy Jared Dumba, the hockey insider here on the program, the last time we went, he was like, there goes Kelly Rudy. Wayne Gretzky's pulling into the lead. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? It's 11:11, by the way. What are you talking about? And he goes, well, the cars with the numbers. So the other night, that's what made me think of the 32. There was a race car named 32 at the Motor Speedway here. And then the one in the Energy City that we were at, I'm like, there goes Milt Stiegel. 85. It makes it a lot more fun.
Oh, yeah. That's cool when you start to associate all those numbers. But that's what hockey guys do, right? And football guys do that too a little bit with football numbers. And hey, that's the way when you see numbers, you quit. I'm sure Jordan sees football numbers and thinks that's Bobby Labonte driving around or running up and down the field, right?
Walking the walk and talking the talk. It's the Rod Pedersen Show.
Will this Seattle Kraken team make the playoffs in year one? Because after looking at this roster, unless the last two picks that we don't know about are going to be Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux, I'm sorry. I don't think they're making the playoffs in year one.
Spicy.
I think that they will. I like Ron Francis a lot. They're all NHL players. If you're good enough to play in the NHL, you're good enough to have success. They won't light the world on fire, but I think they'll get in.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yes, it is. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. It's like a throwback Thursday.
Spicy.
Spicy. I like it. Who's in charge of that?
I don't know.
Who's doing
good.
these?
It's good.
Whoever it
How
is,
about that?
I'm very impressed with you. It is Canada's daytime sports talk show. We are emanating from the bunker here in Western Canada, and my earpiece is already out of control. How come nobody says anything about this? We used to have somebody that would come around and put makeup on and fix me, and she left.
Yes.
And she's never been replaced. How do you like us so far? Did I say it was episode number 533? Did I say that?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Big show today. We got a lot of things to get to here in the warm-up for E-Cold Electric. Our live guest today will be the ageless and peerless Craig Button from TSN, their director of scouting, and from Sportsnet Flames, Ryan Leslie. So if you've guessed it, there will be a lot of hockey talk. And by the way, the warm-up is for E-Cold Electric. Come check out our new Regina Data and Lighting Center, E-Cold Electric. Let's get to work. My phone notifications are going off like crazy. And what I enjoy a lot, is the other 22 hours that we're not on the air, I get a lot of questions from people through Facebook and Twitter saying, Rod, I want your thoughts on this, want your thoughts on that. And I got a few of those to get to here today, Moose.
Good.
So let's get to the quick six show topics, please. Thank you, Director Jordan. And Mandy's up. She's up in Edmonton with Malcolm, the new mother. She says, we like you now. We like you too, Mandy. And she's a huge CFL fan in Edmonton. So hang on. We're going to get to that in a moment. But I just got to say, Kraken draft leftovers. Let's just start with the poll question for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center today. It is, did you watch the Seattle Kraken TV special last night? And the answer for us, of course, is yes. We hosted a watch party down at the Four Seasons Sports Palace. And let's be honest, the highlight was the company and the food.
Oh, yeah.
And the TV broadcast wasn't bad either, but 57% of you saying no, you didn't watch it. But we all vote for yes. We had a bit of a team event there last night. It was a good crowd. Photos are on our Instagram. And can I just say this about the team? I don't think they're going to be very good. Everybody has an opinion. We're never, ever, ever going to realize something. After a draft, after a game, you want to make an immediate assessment.
Yes.
And we're not going to know for a couple years how good this draft was for the Seattle Kraken. I'm not overly impressed, but that's just me. And they've got $28 million in cap space done. They've got side deals that are going to be announced in less than an hour, so we're going to discuss that. Where's the 902 area code? Do we know?
East, I think.
Is that Nova Scotia? They've written in on the Prairie Mobile text line. Do the Kraken have to reveal any and all side deals they made so certain players would not be chosen? I'm not sure whether they have to or not, but I believe that they will.
Yeah.
I believe that they will.
Well, they will. Any deal that's black and white will get released. Things like they acquired a first and third round pick in order for taking so-and-so, but it won't necessarily say for not taking A, B, and C, right? So we might not know who the teams were protecting specifically, but we'll know what assets are going to go back to the Seattle Kraken. We will know those assets. And if you want to make that post-draft assessment of, okay, what do the Kraken look like? How did they do? We need to wait until we get all these assets that have been acquired.
We're going to find that out today, and I'm going to bring in the viewers' comments here today. Jason Wall writes in, good morning from Winnipeg Beach, Manitoba. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, did they have any former Seahawks to the show? They had quite a few Seahawks on there yesterday. Who was the linebacker they had now?
Wagner.
Bobby Wagner was on there. Marshawn Lynch, that's right. He actually announced Eunice Donskoy. Marshawn Lynch did. So that part was all fun. But let me say this from a broadcast perspective. Chris Fowler hosted it, and anybody that follows college football would remember Chris Fowler, would know Chris Fowler from ESPN's college football coverage. He's getting roasted for screwing up some of the team names, and he was crap-talking the Senators and the Leafs. And, of course, it's 2021. People got to crap over everybody anyways. He's getting a lot of criticism. Here's what I would have done. You got John Forsland as the Kraken's first ever TV voice, and Everett Fitzhugh as the first ever radio voice of the Kraken. Why would you not have them MC the expansion draft and introduce them to all of America in the National Hockey League? But no. Let's let ESPN wag the dog and bring their guys in. And now Fowler, who I love as a college football guy, but why not put your hockey broadcasters in there? But again, that's why I'm sitting here, and they're doing that. Let's move on to point two because we got a lot to get to today. TSN announcing this morning their broadcast crews for 2021 in the Canadian Football League. And here's me caught with my pants down. I don't have the news release up in front of me. It's the top item running at rodpedersen.com right now. Yeah. And just like that, I found it.
Oh, good.
And basically, to paraphrase, this was just announced this morning. I feel like, why do I do quick six show topics at 6 in the morning when everything changes by noon Eastern?
I know.
All this stuff's come down today.
I know.
And this was this morning. Rod Smith. Should I read this whole thing? Here it is. TSN's broadcast team of play-by-play announcers, including Rod Black, Rod Smith, Dustin Nielsen, Marshall Ferguson, and Farhan Lalji, are joined by game analysts Glenn Suter, Dwayne Ford, and Matt Dunnigan. The CFL on TSN panel, led by new host Kate Burness, joined by CFL Hall of Famers Matt Dunnigan and Milt Stiegel, TSN football analyst Davis Sanchez, veteran CFL head coach and GM Jim Barker, as well as special guest analysts throughout the season. So it's a lot of the same faces. Marshall Ferguson's new, but he's been a TSN employee for a long time. The CFL thinks a lot of Marshall Ferguson. Says the sideline reporters will be Sarah Orleski, Matthew Shinetti, Ryan Rishog, John Liu, Claire Hanna. So that was all announced today. And I think the biggest news here's the big news. Rod Smith is replacing Chris Cuthbert as the number one play-by-play guy for the Canadian Football League in 2021 and beyond, till the end of time. And Marshall Ferguson has been added on to this. He is the fourth announcer, I guess. Although Clark and I were kicking this around before you showed up because you were late, mister.
I know.
You had an appointment?
I had an appointment.
Yeah.
How about that?
We said, is Rod Smith number one? And Clark and I agreed. It's like, well, his name's number one on the list, so he must be number one. But as I look at this news release, it's got Rod Black, Rod Smith, Dustin Nielsen, Marshall Ferguson, Farhan Lalji. Are we ordering them in terms of a depth chart here? And if that's the case, Rod Black's the number one play-by-play guy, which means he'll be called on the Grey Cups.
Well, it's funny you say that. It sounds like they're not going to have a depth chart. It sounds like they're all just, here's the guys, and they'll all do some games. Dustin Nielsen will do more games. He's slowly been growing in that role, and that's good. There's, Ferguson's at it. But, and they've said they're not going to have pairs. So when it was always Suter and Cuthbert, there won't always be pairs. Dwayne Ford, and Suter are both there. But what kind of led me to believe what the number one team is Rod Black and Glenn Suter are doing the opening game.
Yeah.
They're starting the season off. I would assume those two will finish it.
Mike Blackbird's watching in Toronto. He's an Argos fan. He says the boss can be as late as he wants, which So
thank you.
He's the boss. Jason in Winnipeg Beach says TSN CFL panel's looking good. Kate will do a great job. Rod is well deserving of the lead role. While Rod Black, Rod Smith flip a coin. Ryan McCarthy in Saratoga, New York says, doesn't Rod Black do the play-by-play for the Grey Cup radio broadcast? Yeah, that was pre-pandemic, man. And Cuthbert did TV. Everything's changed now.
Yeah. I really like Kate Burness as the new host of the panel.
I love her as the host.
I love
Watching her on TSN just makes me feel warm.
I think this is a home run move. Of all of it, it's kind of formality. There's not really much news in there. But Kate Burness taking over the panel, I think, is a home run for TSN.
Yep, absolutely. Paul Allen's watching in Minnesota. And he says the ESPN deal is $400 million a year, carries a lot of weight. Sure. Money talks. Who says that it doesn't? But the point is, you should have had your Kraken broadcasters emceeing it. So you paid more money so you can put in a guy that's going to get roasted because he's out of place. Fill your boots.
At least give him a role.
Do whatever you want. And, as we talked about before you showed up, I don't even criticize Chris Fowler for screwing up the things that he did. Don't blame him. He shouldn't have been in there in the first place. They should have put in the Kraken announcers that know what they're talking about. But no, we pay $400 million a year, so shut your mouth. Got it?
Got it.
And again, it's around 50-50. A little more 50, a little better than 50% said no, they didn't watch it. Well, and where the heck is it? Dylan Spicer's watching in Nova Scotia. He says, I couldn't bring myself to watch the draft. Too many leaks through the day made it less interesting. He's right. If we hadn't planned a party down at the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home of the Seattle Kraken fan club, I probably wouldn't have. Well, I wouldn't have gone out for sure, and I might have not even watched it. So I get that.
Think of how we watched it. We weren't hanging on every pick and watching, and it just kind of was going on. It's like, they're in the market. Kevin Weeks is sure getting around Seattle, and that's kind of our observations. We weren't hanging on every pick or paying that close of attention because we knew what was coming.
We knew what was coming. Can I say Jordan Eberle looked like he had just swallowed a gallon of sour milk? Yeah. I think I just did say it. Brian Snow, the Snowman's watching from North Carolina. He says, I can't wait to see some CFL action. And me either. It was 2 weeks from tonight, as Jeff the Stamps fan pointed out. And I just was going to write down the schedule, but maybe we'll do that tomorrow of what the Week 1 games are. But there's some scintillating Week 1 matchups. But it's 2 weeks away. So let's move on. Point 3, the Dallas Cowboys getting ready to open up training camp in Oxnard, California. Did you see the news conference with Jarrah? Did you?
Of course.
He broke up and started dropping F-bombs yesterday. That's my owner. Jerry Jones. He said he would give anything to win a Super Bowl, which is interesting because he's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm impressed with you. Where did you have time to watch that?
ESPN, baby.
Oh, yeah. You got it now. That's how you saw it.
But that's where they have it 24/7 and sitting in front of there. They haven't won a Grey Cup, Super Bowl since 1995. And there was a lot of talk about Jerry getting the Cowboys on for an unprecedented third time on Hard Knocks, that inside, which he loves. Great promoter. Mike McCarthy has never done that before. And they were really debating Hard Knocks and having that exclusive access because it can make or break a coach. Sean McVay in L.A., it made him look good, the way he dealt with players, the way he made decisions, the way he conducted himself. Other coaches, it made him look worse, and they ended up getting fired a year or two after. So what's it going to do to Mike McCarthy? You question some of his decisions. It might make him look worse, or it might make people actually like Mike McCarthy. I don't know what it's going to do.
John Ohm in Winnipeg's watching. He says Jerry would give his soul to win a Super Bowl. I don't think Jerry has a soul. I'm just going to put that out there right now. But a team owner, a former team owner that I don't like, I was in a press box one time, and I won't say where because it'll tip off who that owner might be. And he said to me, Jerry Jones, what's he ever done? I said, I don't know. Winning 3 Super Bowls, winning NFL Executive of the Year. And by the way, this was a hockey owner. Yeah. And then the guy just muttered something and stormed off. But I'm like, stop it. This guy doesn't own anything anymore and never won anything when he did own, so I'll move on. Point 4, Andrew Harris, we find out in Winnipeg, is going to be out another week. I saw this from 3downnation.com. The reigning most outstanding player, the Grey Cup most outstanding Canadian. No preseason. People are starting to... I see the coaches, the anonymous quotes comment from 3Down Nation saying they like that there's no preseason because no travel, no changing cities, blah, blah, blah. Point 5, are we into the Olympics? Not yet, but we will be, right?
No, there's action happening. I really got to speed up, and I'm sorry. Point 6, CEBL tonight. The Saskatchewan Rattlers are at the Guelph Nighthawks. The Rattlers are 0-9. It's becoming a story. Are they going to go 0-14? Are they going to be the first team in CEBL history to go winless? That would suck. And 2 bonus points on the World Juniors. Canada announced its camp invite list for next month's World Junior Camp, and Connor Bedard's not on it. My brother is beside himself that Connor Bedard is not invited. I said, just calm down. I'll bet you right now that Connor Bedard will play in the tournament. This is fine. Who knows why he's not in the camp? And the other thing is everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people are tweeting me, asking me my thoughts on the new deal for the Canadian Hockey League with TSN and CBC. Well, I think it's amazing. Sportsnet has done good things, no doubt, for the Canadian Hockey League, and they've had the Memorial Cup for a couple of decades. But when I first got into the Western Hockey League, and I'm not going to tell you how many years ago that was, TSN was the broadcaster, and they regularly did Western Hockey League games. They did CHL games all across the country. Guys by the name of Paul Romanek, Gord Miller. I think Ray Ferraro did some WHL games back in the day. The CHL's going home to TSN. And the fact that CBC's jumping into the pool, and they've got CEBL games now, if you haven't been paying attention, they've got Canadian Premier League games. They're doing university sports. What decade is this? The 1970s? I know.
When sports broadcasting in Canada was king? TSN's making some moves here. They're getting the NLL. They're going to have a game of the week, and they're going to get the CHL starting this year. Now, it's only 30 games, but I got to think it's only going to grow. You people now need to watch. That's the thing. It's Canada. How much have I railed on? Why am I watching European soccer on a Saturday afternoon? What country do I live in? So you need to rally and watch the games because you love them anyways. It's Canada, for God's sakes. I did not expect to get that wound up about this.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that the Canadian Hockey League has signed this broadcast deal exclusively with these 2 networks, that's exclusive, TSN and CBC. So we're kind of out of time.
Yeah.
Are you good?
It's great. And the last thing on that is just CBC fills in the gaps. When TSN has premier programming, you know, whether it's golf majors or big events, tennis events or NASCAR, whatever, you've got the free CBC Gem app to put the games on. It's perfect. Sinclair Russell, watching in Northern Ontario, says, more hockey is a great thing. Well done, TSN. Mike Blackbird says it would, in Toronto, would be nice to see WHL, OHL, and the Q on the CBC. Well, it's coming. And just one more from Jex Burton, watching on Facebook. He says, howdy, boys. Couldn't agree more about the CHL. It's Canada, for God's sakes. Love you, Rod. Love you too, Jex. Let's stick up for our Canadian sports. Craig Button joins us next. This has been the warm-up for E-Cold Electric, and you're watching on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Live on YouTube and Facebook and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say. And I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade and Allowance program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here in the bunker. It's Canada's daytime sports talk show talking about the things that you like. The Spiking Viking writes in on the Prairie Mobile text line. He says, the sun has returned to Gimli, Manitoba. So I know you'll be sleeping better with that news.
Oh, yeah, good.
The smoke seems to have lifted around here.
A little bit.
We can see the sun, so that's good. Forest fires in Canada. It's a summer thing. We are awaiting TSN's Craig Button, which is fine. So we're talking about, get it going in the comment section, by the way, whatever you want to talk about, because I can talk about everything for the most part. But if these guys want to talk about the Canadian Hockey League going on TSN, I can talk about that all day, 8 days a week. Oh, Tank Abbott's watching from the Energy City, and he says, I'd like to see the breakdown of how many of each league will be shown. You know the WHL is going to be the low man on the totem pole with the amount of airtime. Let's just be happy that they're on, okay? And then we'll go from there. It's a big country. We got a lot of people to satisfy. But I'm telling you, it was 1993 when I first started in the Western Hockey League, and TSN was doing the games then. I could tell you a million stories, man. I'll tell you one. 1996, Lethbridge Hurricanes, Regina Pats. I'm calling the game, the longest game in WHL history. Went 4 overtimes, went to 1:27 in the morning, and Paul Romanuk's calling the game, and he's mad. Everybody at TSN's mad because it was preempting SportsCenter. The rest of the country doesn't care about Kirby Law and Ryan Hoople and Josh Holden. They're like, get these guys off the air. No, we're committed to do the game. And then the next night, the coach of Lethbridge assaulted the referee, and Bob's your uncle, and that's... Oh, I forgot. We're not supposed to talk about that. Oh! Breaking news today. Thanks for getting me back on track. From Todd Pinkney. Per Marc Bergevin, the general manager of the Montreal Canadiens, he says Shea Weber will not return next season and probably won't be back for his career. Also, Carey Price out 6 to 8 weeks. So thank you. People are wanting to talk hockey in July. And so I got my notification this morning. Turns out Marc Bergevin wasn't pulling anybody's leg. How about that? Shea Weber, because what's what I thought. He said he's not going to play at all next year, the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, and his career might be over. And everything in his body's broken.
Yeah.
I'm like, he just played 30 minutes a game every night in the Stanley Cup final. What the hell? Tells me how tough he is.
Oh, extremely.
I got to get Craig Button's thoughts on that. As a matter of fact, they tell me we got him. So let's please get Craig Button on the screen. An original Montreal guy. Craig, good morning, sir. How you doing? Just finish a workout or what?
No, actually, I didn't. This is how I wake up. I wake up looking like I've been exercising and working out. Just give my hair a little bit of a shake and a rattle, and away I go. But sorry, I was late. My internet was kicking me out, and I just had to make an adjustment. My apologies, Rod.
You got to switch over to TELUS. You got to switch over to TELUS in Alberta. That's what you got to do. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
No, so we're talking about Shea Weber. I heard you talking about Shea Weber. And here's the most impressive thing, and it always impresses me about NHL players, and specifically as it relates to the playoffs. What the players are willing to do, what they're willing to sacrifice to do everything they can to help their team win that Stanley Cup. It is beyond impressive. I mean, we hear about Shea Weber, and we hear now from Marc Bergevin that he might never play again. I've seen it. I've seen it up front. I've seen what players are prepared to endure to be able to go and compete for the Stanley Cup. And, Rod, you're very familiar, and I call hockey players thoroughbreds. And, obviously Connor McDavid is a different thoroughbred than other players, but they're thoroughbreds. And the reason why you see a horse race, a thoroughbred horse, that when it breaks a limb or something, why they have to put it down, because the thoroughbred only knows how to run hard. And that's what NHL players are. They know how to go, and they're willing to, we use terms like lay it on the line. And I know there's a lot of talk around about, long-term effects, short-term effects, right? This is about internal, the insides of a player that says, I want to do this because it's something that's important to me. And, Rod, I've said this many a times. If you go into a dressing room and you ask the players who wants to win, all the hands go up. When you ask the second question and you say, who's prepared to pay the price, all the hands go up. But when you ask the third question, who knows what the price is? The greatest player, Wayne Gretzky, said it after they lost in 1983 to the Islanders. He walked past that Islanders dressing room and he said, that's what it takes. So these players are wired, and that's my explanation for Shea Weber.
Yeah, for sure. And those Islanders players who are our buddies, of course, right? Trache and Potvin and all those. Well, they all had ice bags, right? They just won the Stanley Cup, and they're not celebrating. They can't even move. But so Carey Price, we learn, is going to be injured to start the start of next season. So how much do you know, Craig? Because Jeff Petrie, my God, I thought he was almost dead. He was blind. Look at his eyes. They're all red. And he goes out and he's the best player on the ice in Vegas. I'm like, what the hell? They were paying the price. That's why it hurts so much that they didn't even really compete in the Stanley Cup final. But how much do you know about how hurt they were?
I don't think we ever do. Honestly, I don't, because the players downplay it too. Oh, it's no big deal. Oh, we're in the playoffs. You just play. You do your thing, right? You sit down and you listen to Jeff Petrie, talk about the finger and being broken, and he doesn't want to have surgery, gets it taped up. I mean, he passes out. That's how the blood vessels in his eyes burst, because he passed out as they were resetting it. Alex Killorn blocks a Shea Weber. Well, it wasn't Shea Weber, it was Barclay Goodrow, but Alex Killorn has his tibia broken. They operate and put a rod in, and he's taken the pregame warm-up in Game 4 in Montreal and doesn't play Game 5, but he says, I might have been able to play in Game 6 or 7. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If I broke my tibia and had a rod in, I'd be down for 12 weeks. Not 12 hours or 7 days. And again, it just speaks to, what they're willing to do. And, I'll go back. I hear, oh, yeah, they're forced to do it. I don't buy that. I think players, understand that, there's going to be times when you're going to have to play hurt. What you never want to do is put a player into a position where he has to play injured. Playing hurt is different than playing injured. And I don't think in the vast majority of cases, nobody is ever going to put a player into a position where he has to play injured. But, playing hurt is part of it. Nobody's 100%. I know in 1999, Rod, you know what's going on, and you're looking at it, and you're just amazed. You're absolutely 100% amazed what these players are not only capable of doing, but what they're willing to do.
Well, by the way, thank you for bringing up 1999. And for our viewers that don't know, Craig Button was my dad's boss for a few decades with the Dallas Stars and won a Stanley Cup together. So please, let's sashay off to a question that you never get about that team. What's a story of a guy that you could go through the whole roster, couldn't you? By number. Well, obviously you can. You're a personnel guy. But what's one story of you guys winning that Stanley Cup that you've never really told that maybe made you realize how special that team was?
I'll take you back. I'm going to take you back to the first period intermission of Game 6, Western Conference Final versus the Colorado Avalanche. And the coaches are always working to try to instill, the game plan, the attitude of the team, the philosophy of the team. And they're working on that from day one of a season. We lost Game 5. We were the President's Trophy winners that year. Colorado was a top team. We lost Game 5 in Dallas. We were down 3-2. We come into Colorado, and we're down 1-0 after the first period. So Ken Hitchcock, the head coach, and Rick Wilson and Doug Jarvis, the assistant coaches, they're sitting there. Okay, what do we have to do? What adjustments do we have to make? And before they go in to address the team ahead of the second period, Ken Hitchcock says he comes in to the entryway where he's going to come in, wherever it was in Denver at that time, and he says he stops because he hears the players saying, okay, listen, don't worry, we got this. Here's what we got to do. If we continue to do this, we're going to be able to take advantage, be ready for it. We're doing the right things. And he said there was 2 things that struck him there. Number one, they had it. The players had it. He said the players had ownership. And Ken had given them ownership. But now they took the ownership. And with it, they understood the strengths of their own games and the strength of the team together. We went 1-4-1 and won Game 7 4-1. That, to me, is a moment in time that when, as coaches, and it's no different as parents, you get that sense of pride that, hey, I've instilled in the team, I've instilled in my kids things that are really important for them to be successful. And when Ken Hitchcock told that story, you see the sense of pride in him of not only what he did, that's his job, but that the players had it. And, we went on to win the Stanley Cup. And to me, that was a real significant moment in knowing that you not only had a good team, but you had, Bill Belichick always says this. It's not about having the most talented players. It's about having the players that make you the best team. And we had that in Dallas.
Well, and what I love is I've been around sports a long time, and when, like, I just know Modano didn't care for Hitch in the early going, right? I know a lot of, in football, that coach, he's making me do things I don't want to do. And they end up winning a championship, right? It's so awesome when it comes around to see. Craig, before I let you go, announced yesterday the CHL is coming home to TSN. It feels good in here for me, for the CHL to be back on TSN. What does that mean to you as a guy that is so close to junior hockey?
Well, I think it's fantastic. Like, you know, I think there's so many different ways to talk about it. Number one, I mean, we have the World Junior Tournament, right? And that's a huge thing. We have the under 18, you know, being in the junior rinks over the course of many, many years and a lot of nights with your father and watching the junior play. Like, every time I go into a rink across the CHL, like, I have a memory. I have a story, and a lot of them I have more than one memory, more than one story. So to be able to, and the communities, as you well know, Rod, are so proud of their junior hockey and the players that represent their cities and towns. And so to be able to have that be part of TSN and to be able to tell those stories and to tell those memories and connect it to the community from my experiences over 30 years, I'll tell you what, it's really special, and I can only tell you this. I'm excited. It's not just, I mean, we're going to see fantastic young players and players that are committed to reaching their goals, and, you know, they have these big dreams. But to be a part of it and to be able to tell those stories, not just the current ones, but over the course of time and the years, it's special.
Yeah, I think it's great. And, hey, a last comment here. They're watching in Carlisle, Saskatchewan, where we're calling them the Saskatchewan Kraken. 4 Saskatchewan kids on the Seattle team, the Fleury brothers, Jordan Eberle, Cole Lind, and I said if they'd taken Holtby, it would have been 5. Clark says we do have a couple minutes. So is the Kraken team making the playoffs next year, Craig?
Well, here's what I would say. Is Carlisle going to be renamed with a K now for Kraken? Kraken Carlisle?
There you go. I like it. Home of Brendan Morrow. Home of Brendan Morrow, by the way, but continue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't forget about that. And, you know, Brendan, you know, longtime captain of the Dallas Stars. You know, listen, I think when you look at the division and the Pacific Division, the California teams all missed the playoffs. Vancouver missed the playoffs. Calgary missed the playoffs. There's a power, I would call it a powerhouse in Vegas in that Pacific Division. We know how good Edmonton was last year during the regular season, and you know, McDavid and Draisaitl, Nurse on that team. But, you know, when I look at what the Seattle Kraken, we can look at what they don't have, and that's easy to do. But they have good goaltending, they have good defense, and they're going to have an opportunity to compete for the playoffs. And, you know, I think, and I get asked this all the time, Rod, well, you know, like the Vegas Golden Knights, you know, are they going to be able to replicate it? Let me tell you this. You know how many teams have been able to replicate what the Vegas Golden Knights have done since they've entered the league? Tampa Bay Lightning have done a great job. The Washington Capitals, because they beat the Vegas Golden Knights in their first year. The St. Louis Blues. There's a large number of teams in the National Hockey League that haven't come close to replicating what the Vegas Golden Knights have done. So let's not put that pressure on the Seattle Kraken. It was a special time for Vegas, but they're going to be competitive. They're going to have an opportunity to make the playoffs. For sure. And by the way, yeah, you can say that. Nobody's going to listen. They're all going to be comparing them to the Vegas Golden Knights. And you're right. I watch you every day on Sportsnet, and I saw that was in your report last. Every team in the NHL is having a tough time keeping up to Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights. Craig, this is always awesome. Thanks for the time and fitting us in, man, and keep up the great work. I sure enjoy watching you. Yeah, and I enjoy your show, too. How many Saskatchewan guys on the Vegas Golden Knights? Braden McNabb and Chandler Stevenson. There should be more. We're working on it. I knew there was no way you weren't coming up with that answer. Exactly. Thanks, Craig. Thanks. TSN's Director of Scouting, Craig Button. Don't think that's not a problem with me, Moose. Oh, yeah. But, you know, I know there'll be more Manitoba kids on that Golden Knights team. That's not the point. That's not what he asked. I know it's not. We were talking about the Saskatchewan Kraken, a third jersey. That's what the S stands for, Saskatchewan.
A green third jersey.
I'll make it out of wheat.
I know.
See it. I can see it.
Oh, yeah. I got a break. We'll be back. That was awesome. You're watching the RP Show on this Thursday, Canada's daytime sports talk show. We'll return in a moment on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
At Capital Ford Lincoln, we don't just sell vehicles, we buy them too. You know how we always have such a big inventory with an amazing selection? That's because we buy all makes, all models, and all years. We're going to give you the best price every time. And you don't even have to buy from us. All you have to do is visit us online or in-store, answer a few questions about your vehicle, and we'll get you a great offer. We'll even cut you a check on the same day. So save yourself the hassles of selling privately and sell it to us. Because at Capital Ford Lincoln, we'll buy it.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445. In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're having a great day, because we're having a fantastic one. And just ahead of a sports update, I got to tell you, the support for the Rod Pedersen Show is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code RP20 at manscaped.com. And if you think that is a spicy read, you should listen to our podcast. Dale. Hi. I blushed when I read it.
Yes.
How about that?
And they can find them at where, Darren? Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify.
Yeah.
Type in The Rod Pedersen Show.
That's right.
Every day, the 20-minute warm-up, which many feel is the best part of the show, is on there, right? You subscribe to The Rod Pedersen Show Daily Blitz.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's, say what?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you have your choice. You want to listen to the full thing, it's there. You want a shorter, condensed version for your commute, that's there too.
It's just 20 minutes long every day. That's all you need. The best 20 minutes in sports. By the way, Rockstar of the Day yesterday for Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions, I want to say, I anointed Frank Saravelli as the Rockstar of the Day. Can we ship him a T-shirt, guys?
Yes.
How about that? Frank Saravelli was the Rockstar of the Day. Not Gary Bettman's Rockstar of the Day.
No.
But I bet you if you did a search, his name, Frank Saravelli's name, probably was posted more on Twitter than Mark Giordano's.
Crushed it.
Ruined it.
I know, but...
Mandy in Edmonton, I appreciate her writing in for whatever you want to talk about, because that's what we do now. We're through our interviews. We're through the warm-up. Whatever you want to talk about, lay it on us. Mandy is an Edmonton Elks fan, and she says, how about Kenny Stafford being released with Coach Elizondo saying some areas didn't make him a cultural fit? I saw that. Kenny Stafford's been on this show, hasn't he, Clark? Haven't we had him on? Yeah, that's right. He's, I think, a really good guy. But so, too, is Jamie Elizondo, the coach of the Edmonton football team. If Kenny Stafford doesn't fit into what Jamie Elizondo wants to do, it's his right to cut him. What I know here is in 2019, Kenny Stafford sat and bided his time on that practice roster as a CFL veteran for almost the entire year. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And then he played in the playoffs for Saskatchewan. It showed me a certain level of humility that not a lot of guys have in professional football. What that cultural fit is in Edmonton that Kenny Stafford doesn't fit in with, I have no idea. But you know that Jamie Elizondo is going to do a good job with that team, and Kenny Stafford will hook on with somebody. It's just crappy that the guy went through all of this year-and-a-half pandemic, went through the quarantine, went through all the training, all the sacrifice, and then that. Great game, crappy business.
Well, and a guy who's had some success in the league, too, Kenny Stafford. You know, he's been a big game player at times, especially early in his career, and you never want to see these situations. He's talking about his character being questioned as he's being cut.
Well, did he say that specifically?
I think it was on Twitter.
Was it? Okay.
I'll want to find the tweet, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. But you're right. That's their right to cut and get the guys you want.
He is Duron Carter's cousin, my beloved Duron. And again, those guys can do no wrong by me. So maybe Kenny Stafford did something. He was released in Montreal the same day as Duron back in the day. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, sounds like he has a bad attitude. Well, that's what Edmonton's making it out to be. Maybe we need to get Kenny Stafford on and let him tell his side of the story. How about that?
How about that?
Hey, sports update, Darren. Are you paying attention to the Olympics? We spend very little time on that.
Yeah,
you are.
I'm watching. It's on.
And I might go a little long on this break. Tell the boys in Toronto. 30 seconds over here. An empty stadium is not how Japanese athletes imagine competing for the first time in Tokyo at their home games. At least the men's soccer team won this morning, a day before the opening ceremony of the pandemic-impacted games. Takefusa Kubo scored the only goal with a curling strike off the post in the 21st minute that clinched a 1-0 victory over South Africa at the Tokyo Stadium. In the other Group A game, Mexico beat France 4-1. J.D. Martinez and Hunter Renfroe connected back-to-back as the Boston Red Sox won a home run derby, beating the Blue Jays 7-4 in the Jays' final game at their temporary Buffalo home. The Hamilton Honey Badgers outscored the Ottawa Blackjacks 24-13 in the fourth quarter to escape with an 87-75 CEBL win Wednesday night at the First Ontario Centre in Hamilton for the first time this season, before fans in Hamilton. Tonight, it's Sask at Guelph. We'll break this sports update for the Tap Brew House and drive-through liquor store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. Whatever you want to talk about next in Viewer Takeover, we'll be right back. You're watching on Game Plus TV and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalfordlincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Okay, we're back. It's viewer takeover. My headphones are screwing up again.
How about that?
Does this work? Have you ever been taught to lick it?
It's kind of like blowing on the video game cartridge.
Oh, no, it didn't.
Right? Blowing on the video game cartridge or licking the CD or whatever.
That worked.
Yeah, that always worked. If you lick that and plug it, you might get a little zap. I don't know.
It just worked.
Okay.
How about that? With the CD, right?
Yeah.
Playing like a darn.
Oh, yeah.
So we have some things to get to here. I love that people want to know what I think about the CHL returning to TSN, and I think it's absolutely amazing. TSN's coming home. It's quit working again. I love the fact that the guy from Florida wrote me yesterday, and he's like, oh, yeah, I just started watching your show. Are we good at hockey in Florida? Did you see that? I don't know. Back-to-back Stanley Cups. How about that? What would you say? At least they're paying attention down there.
Oh, yeah. And probably, in my mind, the best series of the entire playoffs.
Florida-Tampa.
Was the Florida-Tampa series.
I don't know. Say what? Oh!
Bypass the extension.
I almost dropped a... That's what she said.
How about that?
Anyways, where were we? Oh, so about Kenny Stafford getting released by the Edmonton Elks. He did a little research here. So Mandy says, did you know, Mandy, that he's Duran's cousin? I'm feeling that you knew that. Mandy has a love-hate relationship. This is one of our viewers in Edmonton who watches streaming on Facebook, and she says, Stafford is my in-law through D.C. Or maybe that's just in my head. She's got a love-hate with Duran. I have a love with Duran. But anyways, and furthermore, Mike Blackbird in Toronto says, Edmonton seems to be stirring many pots. So they're in the news and not all good. Derek Dennis signed a contract with the Edmonton Elks. Star left tackle. Was he lineman of the year in the CFL, or what was his big thing? Or he was on a first-team All-Stars?
He was lineman of the
Great
year.
player. And he wants out of his contract, and Edmonton won't let him out of his contract. And then there's this Kenny Stafford thing. And I was on the phone this morning driving in here today with CFL people. And that's why I'm hesitant to report what I know about the CFL, because what I'm hearing is all bad. And I just would rather not talk about it at all than be a negative Nelson, because they want you to believe that practice is on, everything's great, buy tickets, and everything's awesome. And not everything's awesome. So they cut Kenny Stafford and say it's not a proper cultural fit. And you said that he's been all over Twitter.
Oh, he's been all over it.
Yeah.
You know, trying to protect his reputation. And, you know, that was the first one that got me when I knew it happened. He tweeted, you know, nothing like having your character questioned. And then it's just been, he's been putting out game film, and he's been putting out, you know, quotes from other people, you know, defending it, and screenshots of text messages and all this stuff. But he really feels like, you know, he wants to control the narrative. He doesn't want the narrative to be
that he's a bad guy.
That he's a cancer, a locker room cancer.
I don't think he is.
No, and, you know, if you don't fit into a team's culture, that's fine. Look at Carey Price doesn't fit into what the Seattle Kraken want to do. And it doesn't mean it's about his culture, about his personality, or about his play. Could just be about money, right? Doesn't matter. For whatever reason, Kenny Stafford doesn't fit into what Jamie Elizondo wants to do in Edmonton.
It's his right. But don't make him look bad.
But don't make him look bad.
And that's the point. And so we're going to extend an invitation to Kenny Stafford. Maybe get him on tomorrow. He's been on this show before, and tell his side of the story. From some of our viewers here, oh man, it's going crazy. Jex Burton says, hey boys, when will the Bedard train head out to E-Town? Choo-choo. I'm still planning a roadie to Regina, but would love to see him play at the new stadium. Dub's schedule's not out yet, right? WHL schedule?
Not yet.
You will see Connor Bedard come through Edmonton, but the schedule's not out yet. What you won't see is him come through the entire Western Conference. There will be no interlocking at all for the first time ever. They're saying because of COVID, but they wanted to not do that anymore for years. So, yeah, just wait for the Dub schedule to come out. Where's the guy? He asked if I thought Division I hockey, if there would be an audience for it. Listen, hang on. It's from Paul Allen of Minnesota. We'll get to that. Coming back in hour 2, okay, for the second half kickoff. And Ryan Leslie will be with us from Sportsnet Flames. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Will this Seattle Kraken team make the playoffs in year one? Because after looking at this roster, unless the last two picks that we don't know about are going to be Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux, I'm sorry, I don't think they're making the playoffs in year one.
Spicy.
I think that they will. I like Ron Francis a lot. They're all NHL players. If you're good enough to play in the NHL, you're good enough to have success. They won't light the world on fire, but I think they'll get in.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, welcome everybody to the RP Show. We're on one, and it just started near the end of hour one, so fill up your coffee, settle in. By the way, I just finished off my Tim's, and I've moved into Caliber Coffee here an hour or two. Nelson, great job, because my God, you need to be a Mensa member to make coffee with that system that you have over there, by the way.
I know it's pretty complex, but
it's complex.
You might have to move to Regina.
I think we'll keep him.
We'll keep him.
Our content creator, Nelson, is in town. He was at our expansion draft watch party last night. I think we'll keep him.
Yeah.
He's good. So we are just finding out here what the side deals were for the Seattle Kraken last night or yesterday leading up to the expansion draft. 1 p.m. Eastern was when that was unveiled. So this is where I'm really going to rely on Clark to put this on the monitor, and you people, the viewers, to help me out because I'm on the fly here. But the CFL fans are awake, and they want to talk about what's going on in the Canadian Football League. And yes, the league would love you to believe that everything's rosy, but it's not all rosy. And I'm not going to get into what's not rosy about it, but Edmonton cut a guy yesterday by the name of Kenny Stafford. And he's a friend of the show. He's Ron Carter's cousin, which automatically makes him family to me. And I think Jamie Elizondo, the head coach, when he said that he was not a cultural fit, probably wishes he could take that back. But Kenny's upset. And he's gone off on Twitter and saying his character is being attacked. And so the viewers are chiming in with this. William May in Lloydminster says, one bad apple can rot the whole box. Why are we saying that about Kenny Stafford? You don't know because Jamie Elizondo said that? Until yesterday, you didn't know anything about the guy. And that's where I get personally... Well, Darren Workman is watching in Salt Lake City, Utah right now. He says, the worst thing that can happen to an athlete is to be considered a bad teammate or a cancer. And he's right. So I'm going to get into story time here right now. The Toronto Argonauts, you remember the day they cut 3 players all at once on one day? Vidal Hazelton, Torrey Gurley, and Kevin Elliott. 3 guys gone. Yeah. And I thought, I was with the Rough Riders at the time, and I'm like, oh, they must be 3 bad dudes. Must have got into trouble, and they just said, we're done with these guys, and they cut them. Well, a couple years later, lo and behold, Torrey Gurley reaches out to me. I'd never met the guy, didn't know him from Adam. Fast forward to now, and we're best friends. And I said, what happened when you got cut by the Argos? He goes, well, we'd lost however many in a row, and they wanted to make us look like bad guys and make an example of us. Because of that incident, I thought Torrey was a bad guy. Then I find out he's a great guy. And the teams can make you look so bad if they want to, or anybody can, especially in the day of social media. So you wonder why Kenny Stafford's so upset. That's why we want to give these guys the opportunity to come on and tell their side of the story, because nobody's ever really done that. But Darren Workman said it. The worst thing that can happen to an athlete is to be considered a bad teammate or cancer. I don't even want to say any more on this because I work so much in this in the recovery world, in sports, and what past employers have done to people that the players are having a very tough time coming back from later in life. Yeah. You know what that's why I get so personally offended by this, and I'm sick of teams doing this. I'm not personally saying Jamie Elizondo. He can say whatever he wants. But can you at least understand that I see where Kenny Stafford's coming from if this isn't right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, and it happens with coaches too.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
When things are going bad, the coach ends up being the scapegoat. And, you want to move on, and you think, okay, well, that's the issue. We'll get somebody else in here. The culture will instantly change. And culture is, grown from the collective group and everybody together. It's not just one person, I think. You can have bad people in and out around your organization that you need to get rid of. But, yeah, make the move, make the cut. Don't make a big deal about it. That's how I would operate. But, again, he can operate how he wants. And if Jamie thinks it's best for the team, then it's probably best for the team. But we know Kenny Stafford. We know he's a good dude.
Yeah, and they, the teams literally don't care about the player. And I'm okay. I'm honestly okay with that. They treat the players and staff as discardable. That's just the business. You do understand when you get into it that that's the way that it goes. But, all the CFL fans chiming in. And by the way, bring it. I'm okay with it. The second half kickoff, by the way, is brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Your home for the Seattle Kraken fan club and the UFC. Jack Fulton's watching in Vulcan, Alberta. He says, Kenny Stafford is a stand-up guy. I guarantee it. If Jack says it, I believe it. I don't know Kenny well, not as well as I know his cousin Duran, but you all know what I think of Duran. Chris Bird, Argos fan watching in Toronto, says that 3-player dumping by the Argos was brutal. And I guess shame on me for assuming at that time that they were all bad guys, but I was raised in this game from birth. That's just my predisposed thinking, right? Yeah. You dump 3 guys, they must be bad guys. Okay. Wayne in Victoria, BC, says that story about Torrey is disgusting from the team side to do that to players. That's not even pointing the finger at the Argos, because all teams do that. My God, we were just in... You want to know what teams have done to me? And the funny thing about Torrey and I is over time, you do get over it and you move on. Mm-hmm. And that's quite frankly why Torrey is where he is in life now. I said, well, if you really want to get into it, Torrey called me with the last job offer that he had. It was with the South Carolina Gamecocks. They wanted him to do color commentary on their broadcast, his alma mater. And he goes, Rod, they gave me a list of 25 things I can and can't do and rules I got to follow. I had to do that as a player. I don't want to do that as a broadcaster. I said, well, I guess you got your answer, don't you, Torrey? And, of course, his girlfriend, now wife, Kim, got on the phone. And she's like, yeah, Tori can't work for somebody else. He's got to work for himself. Yeah, welcome to the club. And that's why,
yes,
back to yesterday with Frank Saravelli, the baby-faced assassin. My brother called me last night. I was on the way home from our draft party. And he's like, well, he's like, Saravelli's either going to get snatched up by another network or never work for anybody ever again after what he did yesterday. And I said, I'll guarantee you Frank's fine with it, because I am. Anyways.
Yes. And his phone isn't going to be shut off. His contacts aren't going to stop talking to Frank Saravelli.
No, clearly.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have given him the scoop in the first place. But he's going to learn, ooh, this is actually pretty good all by myself, doing my own thing. I got a lot of attention, got a lot more followers.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at this.
Well, let's go a little more into it. Down the rabbit hole. Craig Campbell watching from the Hockey Hall of Fame in the GTA. He says, I always wondered why the Argos released those 3 players, and it did appear as though they were problem players. But they weren't. But you're right, they made it look like that. And I think, well, Jeff, the Stamps fan, says no one will ever know for sure in these situations. Players will have one side, organization will have another. But like most things in life, truth lays in the middle. It does. That's why when you hear people say there's 2 sides to every story, nuh-uh. There's 3 sides to every story. For sure. William May and Lloydminster, which, by the way, when he says Lloydminster, I got to say, Braden Holtby, somebody wrote me and said, you can't say that he's Saskatchewan. He's from Lloydminster. His mural is on the Saskatchewan side of the border, okay? It's painted on the tracks.
Oh, yeah.
On that concrete thing. Don't at me. We're taking him. We're claiming him as a Saskatchewan guy. Oh, that Jex Burton's watching in Edmonton. He wanted to know when the Bedard train was coming through. Connor Bedard and God's team, the Regina Pats. Moose looked it up.
February 8th.
No, 18th and 25th. Didn't you say 18th and 25th?
No. Let me look at it.
Yeah, because I said it's twice in a week.
No. Yes, you're right. Not in a week. Here.
Well, wonders ever cease.
Tuesday, February 8th. Pats are in Edmonton at Rogers Place. Pats are back at Edmonton on the 25th. And Edmonton, I believe, visits the Pats late December, 27th.
Can you say those again, Moose?
All right. Edmonton's in Regina December 27th, and then the Pats are in Edmonton on February 8th and February 25th. Pats are in Edmonton.
How about that?
There you go. Hey, it's 11:11.
And I bet you when we talked about that CHL broadcast deal with TSN and CBC, there will be more than a handful of Regina Pats games.
Oh, yeah.
They'll want Connor Bedard. Probably against Moose Jaw. Maybe Brandon or Winnipeg. Maybe one of these teams in the Central. But the Pats will be front and center in a lot of these games.
Sorry to just settle into
Let's do it.
The rectangle nature of this show. One, I just got a text. Holtby has a freaking Sask flag on his helmet. Of course he's from Saskatchewan. Don't try and say that he's from Alberta. Stop. Paul Allen, watching in Minnesota, says, hashtag Saskatchewan semantics. Lloydminster is the Twin Cities of the Prairies. Hashtag Carlisle with a K. Craig Button said it last hour. They're going to change Carlisle, the home of Brendan Morrow, to now starting with a K, Carlisle, because of the Kraken, the Saskatchewan Kraken.
I meet new people all over the place, especially in business, and they're going to ask me, so tell me about the show. Well, yesterday we spent a whole segment talking about where Braden Holtby is really from. Is he from Saskatchewan or is he from Alberta? And we debated Lloydminster. Those are the things that come up on this show on a daily basis.
They're telling me that Sportsnet Flames, Ryan Leslie, has logged in. Oh, I'm sure he's really enjoying this discussion, by the way, and he's going to have to wait 7 minutes before he comes on the air to bring the Alberta side of the equation from Sportsnet Flames. Again, Jax Burton says, choo-choo, Bedard train. He's starting something. And my brother was in a, what do you call it, glass case of emotion?
Yes.
Yesterday that Connor Bedard was not invited to Canada's World Junior Camp. Their identification camp in August. I'm like, who cares? The guy's been through a lot. Personally, professionally. Maybe he had a deal. Maybe his agency said, let's give the kid the month off. Maybe he had a driver's lesson. He just turned 16 on Sunday.
Well, to look at it, here's the thing. Here for me, they had the roster announced for the summer camp, and usually you can't get on this team unless you end up at the summer evaluation camp.
Nah.
I believe that's changed. There is a group of players that have been invited but are not participating. And Bedard's not in that list either. But you know what? His play does the talking. And he's going to be undeniable by the time we get to December. And I imagine he joins that team for camp early December.
Let the record show Connor Bedard will play for Team Canada in the World Jays this year in Red Deer, okay? Write it down.
Write that up against the Jays at 100 wins there on that recipe card.
Moose has the Jays winning 100 games, and I got the Holy Child playing for Canada at the World Jays next year in Red Deer. Cam Dickey is watching on Vancouver Island. He's watching on the Game Plus television network where it's carried all through BC and Alberta on the TELUS Optic cable carrier. He says, great show, man. Regarding Shea Weber, get your mind around the fact he did not get drafted in the Western Hockey League Bantam draft. Just goes to show you that it's a marathon and not a sprint. Shea Weber. The news today, by the way, Mark Bergevin saying that Shea Weber will miss all of next season and that his career may very well be over. Because I'm sitting there going, he just played 30 minutes a game through the Stanley Cup playoffs. And well, by the way. And Craig Button said in hour one, he was like on a adrenaline.
Yeah. Wow.
This is sad.
Well, and you go that hard, that long, and your body goes through all that. We've all been that there in our own way. Run a long race, put in a 25-hour shift, and not slept. We've all done these types of things, Think of me traveling to Houston and what I went through, and we kind of come down from it, and when you can go. Adrenaline can keep you going, and when you sit back and then you really relax, and then you're like, your body starts seizing up, and you're like, okay, I'm never really going to do that again. Like, I might not be able to get back up to that level. You can ride that level for a while when you're broken, but when you settle, then you start to really feel it. So he might not play for the year, and if he settles and he has some energy and wants to come back, great, but a lot of guys just won't.
David Ice in Winnipeg says, Saskatchewan has produced the most NHL players per capita in Canada. Abso-Smurfly. But I knew that. Jex Burton says, if Bedard isn't on Team Canada's World Juniors, I'm selling my tickets. Moose is correct about the Jays. 100 wins. Book it. Well, it didn't help that they soiled themselves against the Red Sox this week in Buffalo. They needed that one. Okay, so now, Leslie, you know what we're going to talk about. There's a lot of topics on the table. Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames joins us next, and he really loves the CFL too, so we'll get his thoughts on that. You're watching on the Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding area since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
At Capital GMC, we don't just sell vehicles, we buy them too. You know how we always have such a big inventory with an amazing selection? That's because we buy all makes, all models, and all years. We're going to give you the best price every time. And you don't even have to buy from us. All you have to do is visit us online or in-store, answer a few questions about your vehicle, and we'll get you a great offer. We'll even cut you a check on the same day. So save yourself the hassles of selling privately and sell it to us. Because at Capital GMC, we'll buy it.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Canada's daytime sports talk show continues, although we now officially, I believe, have more viewers in the United States of America. And by the way, just before we bring on Sportsnet Flames Ryan Leslie, there is breaking news that was actually broken a couple days ago. Mike Smith has signed a officially 2-year, $2.2 million per year deal with the Edmonton Oilers. I just got a text from a hockey head scout guy. Let's just settle this. The reason Connor Bedard isn't going to Canada's World Junior Under-20 camp next month is because he's in Canada's Under-18 camp at the exact same time. And I said to the guy, why wouldn't you bring Bedard to the big camp? And he said, blame Alan Miller.
How about that?
It's the right move.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. He should be skating with the best players. We will be facing off on this later. Okay. So we got a lot to get to and unpack with Ryan Leslie, our good and long-time friend. Look, ta-da! Look at this guy.
It's laundry day. How are you?
How about that? How you doing, Les?
How about that?
How about that?
Yeah,
I love it.
I was pretty impressed when this showed up. Thank you, gentlemen. I wear it proudly whenever I can steal it away from my daughter. So thanks.
Oh, I appreciate it. But don't wear it around downtown Calgary, Ryan, because I'm afraid they'll be using you for target practice. By the way, Dale Berazuk writes in. He says, good afternoon. The draft was horrible. My son and I watched, and then we stopped. Camping wins. We love your show. Hell of a job. Talk next week. Be safe. So he's out camping. What did you think of the Kraken expansion draft telecast last night?
Obviously, it had to have some showmanship. It wasn't bad. I'll say that they did a pretty good job. I was just kind of more fascinated by the process and how it all went. But Roddy, I mean, that's a tough one to pull off and make everybody happy, make everybody feel comfortable. Hey, Sorry, I got the dog barking here, but we'll take it. And it was an exciting day. I was looking forward to it. Obviously, all the news, most of it anyhow, broke early. But just the idea that we've got to look and feel for how it's going to go. The broadcast I thought was fine. Yeah, it can't please everybody.
No kidding, right? Well, everybody likes to criticize. I enjoyed it. Yeah, the picks was the spoiler, of course. But how do you feel? Yeah. Before I get to Giordano, how do you feel about the team overall?
I'm a bit surprised as it sits at this moment that they didn't maybe do more, just in terms of some of the bigger names. I kind of understand why maybe they didn't, the philosophy, the idea of what they're building for, but I don't think we have a true understanding at the moment of what their roster is going to look like on opening day. I don't know if you guys have been batting that around, but I certainly get the sense that there's more to come, and I think we know there's more to come. You're hearing talk of Pitlick coming to Calgary, so that's just a small example, but I think that there's potentially a lot of big moves that still could be made, and I'm kind of curious to see what we saw last night versus what we see opening day, and they got some good pieces. I like their blue line.
Yeah, well, and Giordano anchors it, and I watch every Flames game, Ryan. You've interviewed Mark Giordano so many times. So how do you think he feels about leaving the Flames after so many years and as the captain and be part of an expansion team in the Emerald City?
I can tell you he was probably a little overwhelmed. I think it was really, really hard. It's not like he was blindsided, Roddy, but I think the reality and the finality setting in the way it did, that I know was tough for him, his family, his teammates, former teammates, I should say, here in Calgary and around North America and obviously in Europe as well. And the messages poured in from all of those Flames and anybody who's ever played with him, anybody who's ever covered him. I think it was overwhelming for him. I think to be thrust into that position without a goodbye, without a proper send-off, if you will, had to be a little tough. I think it just gets back to the finality of it all and the way it just happened. And we'll chat with him here soon. Obviously, he's been going, and get a chance to chat with him hopefully again this summer and see, when the dust settles, what that's like. But that's a quality person, a quality player, and that's a key addition for that team. And whether or not he stays, for the remainder of his contract and beyond, time will tell. But they got a good anchor back there. They got a good leader and certainly a good captain.
Wonderful answer, by the way. I knew that you had a personal relationship with him. And for me, it was Eberle. Like, I saw him walking onto the stage last night with a Seattle jersey on, and he just looked stunned. He's like, where am I? What's going on? Giordano, I think, hit it a little better. But you've really brought home the personal side of this, Ryan, that it's shock for them. Because they wouldn't have been told, 24 hours? And they're on a plane to Seattle? Like, that's shocking.
Yeah. I actually spoke with Sean Monahan and told me that, they worked out in Etobicoke. And then he's got to hop on a plane after. But, the shock was there. And you're right about Eberle, but it's certainly with Giordano, he's only worn that one jersey for the most part. And it just looked weird, didn't it? It looked really, really weird. And I think Flames fans, hockey fans, it took a moment. I can't imagine it being in that moment if you're him. Certainly the family is just kind of taking it as it comes. And you know what? Not only the good pro and the good person, but he is going to adjust to this just fine. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have a conversation down the road or when he meets with the media or publicly speaks about it and, how great the city is. And, he's going to be 38 in October. It'd be somewhat invigorated, I would imagine. And those legs are still good. He's in some wicked shape. So I think once you kind of get your head wrapped around it, I think it's going to work out just fine for him. And from a Flames standpoint, as difficult as it is for everybody to sort of digest, it is a new chapter, and it is time to, I guess now, turn the page and figure out who's going to be the next captain, who is going to fill that hole in the blue line, and where does the leadership group, the new leader, take this organization, because it's got to continue to go up. And We'll see who that is. We'll see what that looks like in the coming weeks and months and years, because as Brad Treliving said last night, you just don't replace number 5.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Why did they leave him unprotected then? What was the explanation for that?
Well, I mean, he's 38 years old. You've got to keep some key pieces. I get it. It was purely business. And those two, Treliving and Giordano, had a lot of dialogue on this over the last little while. I would say maybe even a year about this potential. And Mark said, I believe as recently as yesterday, that he told Treliving that he understood it and that, hey, you got to do what you got to do. And Roddy, you and your audience know this is pro sports and you've got to make tough decisions. You're allowed that sort of mourning period, if you will. And now you got to turn the page and you got to go out and find the next guy and who's going to fill those skates. So we'll see. Brad Treliving's got a lot of work to do, but that was not easy for anybody involved there, certainly the fan base. And, Seattle gets a good one.
David Ice watching in Winnipeg says, Giordano has never been to Seattle, he stated. Wow, I was there bi-weekly for decades, haven't been of late, but very beautiful. About the population of Winnipeg. I think it's a lot bigger than Winnipeg, and I will talk about Seattle more in a moment with you, Ryan, but I'm just not finished with the Flames. Who do you think will be the next captain of that hockey club?
I'm not going to avoid the question. I simply don't know at this point, Roddy. I don't know. And I don't think it's an easy answer. And that's a little troubling to me, too, that you don't have that answer, because you'd like to point the finger. There's good candidates. I'm not suggesting that there isn't, but is there a clear-cut one? I'm not sure at this point. I think a lot of people would say Matthew Tkachuk. I think a lot of people would say, look at the leadership of Lucic. Does he have the minutes to warrant it? Michael Backlund's been there for a long time, and Darryl Sutter drafted him. There's some candidates, but is there a clear-cut number one? In my opinion, not at this point. And maybe that changes, and maybe I'm completely out to lunch on it, but we'll see how that one shakes down. I don't know as though there's an automatic. And I don't know if I'm a fan of the no captain and, a bunch of A's. I'm not really sure where I come out on that. You've seen that in the past. I'm not a big fan of it, but I understand it sometimes too. So there are some quality people. Elias Lindholm is a really good, complete pro, a good person. There's some people here that scream leader. Is there a clear-cut one? Not in my opinion just yet.
Hey, I got one. Get Troy Brouwer off the desk with you. Dust him off and put him in a uniform. He'd be the perfect captain of the Calgary Flames. Troy Brouwer, you heard it here first.
How about that?
How about that? I love the brow. I'm not, and you know what? He's in some sick shape too.
Oh, of course he is.
He could probably still make an NHL team. I'm not sure he's coming back to Calgary though. I think he's probably done with his time. He lives here, but I don't think he's coming to play for him.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, his wife's from my hometown, Carmen, from Milestone, Saskatchewan. Bring that up to him next time you see him. Seattle is a hockey market. I can't get enough talking about it. I've been there many times. I've been in some scrapes in that facility with fans throwing stuff at the team. Hey?
I've never been to Seattle. I can't wait.
Why would you? That's the thing. I was there with the Pats, of course, and I loved it.
Yeah.
What's the buzz in the hockey world?
You got into some scraps, did you?
Oh, yeah. What? Does that surprise you?
Now, this is a show. Yeah, this is a show.
Listen, man. I went to a club called the Tropics one night with Rich Preston, Rico. And he says, 35 years of being on the road, this is the best spot I've ever been in, the Tropics. And it was like right underneath the Space Needle. It was amazing. Our trainer got thrown out that night, and I'll stop there. I'm not going to name him. Just a great town. As another trainer texted me last night, I read it to you, Darren. He goes, it's our kind of town. I said, every town's our kind of town. Ryan, you get it, right, Ryan? Look at him.
I don't know. It's just a couple of passages from the Bible, lights out for me on the road, and good, clean living.
I know. I've seen it firsthand.
How about that?
Well, you actually, the trainer that wrote me last night, by the way. He goes, we should do it again, and this time we might remember some of it. Anyways.
Glory days. Yeah.
Glory days. Yeah. What's the buzz about Seattle as a hockey market from your people?
Well, I think in this market, and you say our people, I think it's just more fascination. It's obviously a division, a rival. I think there's a curiosity. Anybody who's been to the city swears by it, much like yourself. And now it was about curiosity as to the team. The city, I think, and from what I hear, and I was talking to Milan Lucic yesterday as well, and he was just talking about how he played there in junior when it was. But the Key, am I going to get this wrong? Is it the Key Center?
Key Arena. Yeah. Well, now it's Climate Change Arena.
Yeah. He was just reminiscing about playing there and how excited he was to be going back. So, I'm kind of living vicariously through those who have been. I'm really curious to see what it looks like, what it feels like. I mean, anything that I've seen or heard is just wonderful about the city. So the team will take shape. The city's ready. The league has done a great job, as we've seen with Vegas and other markets, and just continuing to grow it. So, hey, I say why not? And the division is such an interesting situation too, where that town and that team rather can jump right in and make a splash if they play their cards right. Because your California's still trying to catch up a little bit. They'll be good in a couple of years. All those teams down there, and Edmonton and Calgary, you're not sure what you're going to get. Vegas is a powerhouse, so it's a great time for Seattle to come on in and make some noise.
From one of our viewers, Robert Munich writes in, he says, can Ryan confirm if Pitlick is coming to Calgary? Do you have any news on that?
You know what? I've reached out on that. I can't confirm it. I haven't checked my phone since we've been going, but it does sound like it's headed that way. And, there's some Arizona ties there, which we know management has ties to as well. So there's some Oiler ties in there, and there's a few ties when it comes to Pitlick, but they're obviously familiar with them, and that has been kind of buzzing around for a while. So I don't know at this moment, talking to you, if it's official, but it sounds like it's headed that way.
All right, Ryan. Well, this has just been wonderful as always, and I can't wait. Ryan Leslie, a must follow on Instagram. You like to get out to the Rockies. How is your summer going? Are you ever going to get a break here to do that?
Oh, yeah. No complaints. We just got back from Southern Ontario, my hometown. We're on the shores of Lake Erie in a great little town of Port Dover, Port Ryerson. And who I had a chance to catch up with and tell some great stories with from my hometown, who you will know, the great Ryan Vandenbush. And anybody who remembers Bushy remembers just great. How tough he was.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wow. I didn't know he's from there.
No, not the Wheat Kings. Ryan Vandenbush, tough guy from
playing in Chicago. Played in Chicago. It's another Vandenbush. Yeah. A Blackhawks tough guy, Ryan Vandenbush. Gotcha.
Yeah, Rangers, Vandenbush. Yeah, he was maybe an inch taller than me, and nobody wanted a piece of him. But it was great to catch up, tell some old hockey stories. So we did 3 weeks back home, out to the mountains with the dog all the time. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, because it's been a good summer for that, and soon we'll be right back to work.
Good stuff. All right, buddy. Thanks. I appreciate it. Keep up the great work. Always appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Ryan Leslie joining us from Calgary. He's just the best. Follow him, like I said, on Instagram, Twitter, all the best. He does a great job. Okay, 24 minutes left, and we're going to do viewer takeover and all the rest. What else? We got to face off. What were we going to face off on?
Which camp Bedard should be at.
Right. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to win one.
You're watching the RP show on the Game Plus TV network, which, if you didn't know already, is available all across Alberta and BC on the TELUS Optic cable carrier. Also live YouTube and Facebook and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com. Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Oh yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. I got to tell you something. Look. This is why it's good to be the Rod Pedersen Show, because it's just how I feel. Welcome inside my mind. Scary place, huh? All these guys around here are going just giddy about Tyler Pitlick just went to the Flames from the Kraken. He was picked yesterday by the Kraken off Arizona. Shane Gostisbehere has just been traded from Philadelphia to Arizona. Look, that you lose me. You know what I'm saying? And I get you guys all got your phones down. You're all on your phones.
Yep.
But that's why, look, if Clark, can you put them up on the monitor and I'll read it, and then I'm going to move on. But that's why I knew there was a void in this country for daytime sports talk, because I'm sitting here looking at this sports update, Darren. It's 1:42 Eastern right now. Like the Blue Jays game last night is old news.
Old news.
And to sit and watch SportsCenter, obviously I love TSN. I kiss their butt every day. But to see SportsCenter 12 times in a row? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Clark's typing them up right now. So take your time. And I'm going to read this. Oh, and by the way, I'm trying to do this as nicely as possible. The gentleman in Winnipeg by the name of David Ice said, oh, Seattle and Winnipeg have very similar populations. No, they don't. When you look on Wikipedia and it says Winnipeg's 800,000 people, it's 800,000 people. When you look on Wikipedia for Seattle, it's Seattle's 800,000 people. But there's Tacoma, there's Kent, there's Renton, there's Kirkland,
Bellevue, all
Everett,
of these places.
Bellevue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's 4 million people, brah. The United States Census Bureau defines the metropolitan area as the Seattle, Tacoma, Bellevue, Washington metropolitan statistical area with an estimated population of 4,018,598 people, give or take a soul or two. As of 2020, it's the 15th largest metropolitan statistical area in the United States. There's towns in the United States south that with 800,000 people you've never even heard of. It's not the same size as Winnipeg. You have to trust me on these things. Why don't they trust me on these things?
I don't know.
I've been everywhere. Jex Burton in Edmonton says, thanks, Rod, for letting us into your mind. Keep it going. Be careful what you wish for.
Been doing that for 533 shows.
Episodes, yeah. And growing.
Yes.
By the way, this show available, Game Plus TV Network, all across Manitoba on Bell MTS Cable. In Washington and Oregon states on TDS Cable. Mm-hmm. Tell your friends there's this lunatic in Canada that for 2 hours every day just rants. And he's always right. Gino DePauli checking in from Calgary, Alberta. Calgary. That's another thing. Did you hear the announcers last night on the Seattle Drafts call it Calgary?
And they just...
I'm like...
Skin crawl.
I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Put on the hockey broadcasters. They would know that it's Calgary. What are we doing here? Anyways... Gino DePauli says, what does the future hold for teams like the Thunderbirds and Silvertops in the WHL with the Kraken now the big ticket for hockey? I feel it could go two ways. I'm of the belief more hockey the better. We were on this when they announced they were getting a team a year ago or however long ago. The more hockey the better. Now, I understand it's not Winnipeg where they have the NHL and the AHL and the WHL and multiple junior A teams all in one city. But to have two major junior teams plus an NHL team in a city of 4 million people, which we've now learned, it's big enough for everybody. Right?
Yeah.
It's shoot.
It is.
It's going to be the hockey capital of the Pacific Northwest. So I'm going to read last night's news. For the city of Buffalo, it was fun while it lasted. After not hosting a Major League Baseball game since 1915, Buffalo made the most of its opportunity hosting the Toronto Blue Jays over 2 seasons because of COVID-19 concerns. It all ended last night as the Boston Red Sox beat Toronto 7-4 in the final MLB game to be played in the city for the foreseeable future. Jays will be back home at Rogers Center beginning July 30th, but they're off today. The Hamilton Honey Badgers outscored the Ottawa Blackjacks 24-13 in the fourth quarter to escape with an 87-75 win Wednesday night in front of home fans at the First Ontario Centre for the first time this season. Tonight in the CBL, Saskatchewan visits Guelph, and now the Rattlers' watch is on. They're 0-9, and even their own fans are wondering if they're going to go to 0-14. How do you feel? Maybe
Nervous.
we should face off about that?
Nervous.
Okay.
They got to get one. Right?
Starts with one.
Right?
Yeah. Listen, write this down. You can't win 4 games without winning one first.
How about that?
Just ask me. I know stuff.
Okay.
Colin in Ottawa says, you're right, Rod. When looking up populations of U.S. cities, you have to go by metropolitan statistical area because they don't have amalgamated cities like most of our cities. For sure. I couldn't believe when I was driving through Hamilton, it said population 190,000 people. I'm like, what? What? But it's not. Hockey Canada has announced that 51 players have been invited to attend Canada's national junior team summer developmental camp at the Seven Chiefs Sportsplex on the Tsuut'ina Nation near Calgary. 5 goalies, 16 D-men, and 30 forwards will be part of the 8-day camp. Now, it's a holy war that Connor Bedard has not been invited to that camp, the Wonder Boy. And I get it, but as we've learned from a head scout friend of mine, he's going to the under-18 camp at the same time. And yes, he should be in the big camp. Moose doesn't agree, but he's allowed to be wrong. Have I changed your mind yet?
No.
Of course not. You're very close-minded, son.
I think he should be on the World Junior team, though.
There's the face-off, and we didn't even know it. For Ultimate Fan Zone, the Mad Greek Restaurant. It would be a great poll question, by the way. Maybe a better poll question than what I came up with today. Did you watch the Seattle Draft TV special last night? It's like 57% said no, they did not. Can I just say, Dustin Johnson's among 30 players in the field this week at the 3M Open in Minnesota. 30 players who played in the British Open last week. 6 players at the event turned down their spots in the Olympics, including DJ. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. Back with all kinds of stuff in overtime right after this. You're watching on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube, and Facebook live streaming and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is overtime, and it is not everybody's, but most people's favorite segment where we do full-on viewer takeover, and we got another new viewer here watching on YouTube. And Austin, hang on. I'm going to get to your question right away because it's awesome. And thanks. I don't know how you found us, but thanks for chiming in because that's what we do here. We're interactive. Our text line, if you're not watching streaming and you're watching on Game Plus TV, is right there, 306-840-8777. That's 840-8777. Please write it down. And wherever you watch television, you know what? Get it tattooed on your hand.
How about
306-840-8777. Then you'll never forget it. Then you can text us every day with your questions. So Austin says, hang on, Lou Gamelin, I'll get to you next. Austin Donahoe. And while we're answering your question, Austin, would you mind writing us where you're from? Where do you think he's from?
Ooh.
I'll say Austin, Texas. He says, do you think so far the ESPN deal was a mistake? First, the picture of not McDavid.
Yeah.
And last night, the Carolina Panthers. It's not a mistake because I watch ESPN get up every morning, and a lot of times I watch ESPN Sports Center at night, and for years, they've never talked about the NHL or that tiny little segment with Barry Melrose, which is okay, but not great. Now they're talking about it every day. And as of yesterday, you're watching ESPN now. Notice that they're talking about the NHL?
That's right.
That's what Americans are watching is ESPN 1, 2, and 3, and ESPN News, and ESPNU, and ESPN Plus. So, of course, the NHL needs to be on ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
Now, did they stub their toe and scrape their knees a little bit last night? Yes. Should they have had Chris Fowler hosting it? No. But who cares? You watched it. Steinbach, Manitoba. I was close. I said Austin, Texas.
It's the Austin, Texas of the North.
I actually think it is. What did the Wings do? Oh, here it is.
It was the trade.
Breaking news. Yeah. Lou Gamelin's watching in Michigan. He says Stevie Y did it again. Huge deal for Detroit. Goalie Alex Nedeljkovic. Did I say that right?
Probably not.
From Carolina. He's good. I know that.
He was up for the Calder.
Right. Nedeljkovic? How do you say it? Nedeljkovic. From Carolina to Detroit for a third, and Jonathan Bernier's unrestricted free agent rights. Nedeljkovic. Thank you. Where did Carolina get all these goalies from?
I know.
They got 1 million goalies.
I know.
Well, one less now. Shane Gostisbehere and a 2nd and 7th rounder at Arizona. Philly clears $4.5 million off their books with that one. Tyler Pitlick from Seattle to Calgary, and it's an undisclosed return on that deal. So that's today's NHL trade news as we get set to go off the air.
Yeah.
We do have more breaking news. This is a big one. I will hand it to Moose for the announcement of this. I think we have a graphic for it. Don't we? The green and white luncheon.
Yes. I'm like,
wake up.
Wait a second. What am I announcing? Yes. August the 6th. This is game day. So the green and white lunch will feature former Riders president Jim Hopson and Rod Pedersen. A little lunch. Great Western's providing everybody a complimentary product, a beer.
Nice.
And we're going to do a little hot stove. 12:30 Friday, August 6th. If you're in the Rectangle in Regina for the game, come out for lunch at Crave Kitchen and Wine Bar. Awesome spot. Great food. Tickets are available at Eventbrite. There's an event listed on Facebook. We've got links, I believe, that we can throw up here. Watch our social media channels. There are only 40 tickets available. Very intimate, so you got to get your tickets soon.
Yes, sir. That is the day of the game.
That's
Friday,
right.
August 6th, the very day that the BC Lions are in town to take on the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Jim Hopson and I. And it's, like you say, tickets are limited. It's in that private area at Crave Kitchen and Wine Bar.
Yes.
A little bit of a hot stove. That's where we're doing green and white football luncheon to kick off this CFL season. From some of our viewers here, Chris Bird, I know what I was doing. He goes, no, you didn't say Detroit right. Detroit, not Detroit. Yeah? Tell Bob Cole that. He always said Detroit.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
And by the way, So you say Toronto. Is that right? I'll do the talking. You do the watching. Wayne in Victoria says you can also program the text line into your phone. Well, there is that, but I would prefer a tattoo. Now everybody's awake. Oh, Jeff, brand it into your skin. From Jeff, the Stamps fan, Rod, can we have a CFL prediction show sometime in the next 2 weeks? I think we should do that. First, I thought he said a CFL prediction sometime in the next 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm waiting on that. I actually did do a predictions New Year's column that I wrote. If you go back and look, it was the prediction for the standings, but that's changed. A lot of things have changed.
That's right.
Some teams are falling apart as we go. That's the part of what's going on in the CFL that you don't know, with players dropping like flies. So I'm not going to do any predictions till like maybe it'll be
the day before the game.
Week 1.
Yeah.
We're going to do it, but I'm reserving any predictions with the Canadian Football League right now.
Like the morning of August 5th. We predict the standings. We know who's on the field, who's on every roster. We can make better decisions.
Ryan McCarthy in Saratoga, New York, says we might be doing something of that when he's on my podcast next week. Yes, I'm going on the podcast, his show. No credentials required. He says, I say Detroit, you say Detroit. Let's call the whole thing off. Everybody's going off about Milt. The Turtle Man's coming on tomorrow. Milt the Stilt. Everybody wants to know why he does a hashtag paper plates. He'll never say. We asked him that last time he was on. So we're not going to ask him tomorrow. He'll never say. Thanks to Craig Button, Ryan Leslie, this entire crew, most of all you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow at noon Eastern, right here on Game Plus. Truth's in the coffee. It's Truth Serum.
5 minutes.
Right. Darren can throw the numbers around. I'd say top